What's going on, y'all? So after I posted my video on Baby Audio's new plugin, Smooth Operator, a lot of you wanted to know how it compared to Soothe 2 and to Gullfoss. I don't have Gullfoss, but I do have Soothe 2. So in this video, we'll be comparing Soothe 2 to Smooth Operator because essentially these plugins both kind of do the same thing. So we want to see how they compare to one another. So I'm going to go over a quick overview of Soothe 2, the controls on it. We'll re-go over Smooth Operator as well. And then we'll take a listen to the example I have here, which is a vocal and acoustic guitar together. So an acoustic guitar is already a handful on its own. So adding a vocal on top of that will really make this interesting for what these plugins do, which is help suppress harshness and muddiness and deal with nasty resonance in a signal, which we all know acoustic guitars can have a lot of that. So we'll start with Soothe 2. So just looking at both of these UIs, Smooth Operator has less controls, which to me just makes it easier and quicker to dial in. Soothe 2 has more control, more options, more things to tweak, giving you more control over your sound. One thing I noticed right away is that these both work differently in the way that Soothe 2, if you pull your frequencies up, that's going to increase the effect on that frequency, whereas Smooth Operator, if you pull it down, it's going to increase the effect on that frequency. So the big knob you have here is depth, and that's going to be how much of the effect that you're adding here. And just by default, it's set to 3, so I've left it to that. You have soft and hard, which hard is going to be a more drastic effect. Really, anytime I'm using this, soft has always worked. I'm going to turn off these pop-ups here, which I do like these pop-ups. They do help, because when I first opened up Soothe, I was like, what does all of this mean? Okay, there we go. You have attack and release, which you don't have with Smooth Operator, but you have attack and release. And you also, when you click on each of these bands, you can adjust the frequency, the sensitivity, the Q, as well as the balance between from your stereo field. So this does do mid-side, which is pretty cool. And you can also unlink the channels as well if you wanted it to work as in like a dual mono. Coming on down this column under your release, under quality you can select your oversampling here as well as the resolution. Under that you've got your sidechain mix. So you can do like a parallel with this. You can set the mix to 50-50. That's pretty nice. And you have a trim control as well here. Delta. So what Delta does is Delta is going to let you hear what's being removed. And then you've got bypass here. Different from Smooth Operator on here, you also have more curves here with your bands. You got shelf, band shelf, bell, what's this, a notch, tilt. With Smooth Operator, you just need to, grab these and move them to where you need them to be. Both of these are resizable. Nice feature on Soothe 2, you have an A and a B, and you can copy A to B, which we've seen in a lot of plugins. And we've already, here's just your settings menu here. I believe that's all for Soothe 2. Smooth Operator. Let me point out, so with Soothe, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 6 bands. You have 4 bands, and you've got a high cut and a low cut. With Smooth Operator, you've got 4 bands, and this one in the middle is your threshold that's going to adjust everything. And you can also scoot this left to right if you need help creating a curve there for you. This Baby Audio logo here at the top bypasses. You got your side chain here. You can choose different color skins here at the top. Solo, focus. Focus is going to increase the bands on that frequency for the effect. And you've got output here. Nice thing on Soothe 2 is that you can solo. I think it's option. I think if you hold option, you hold option and click a band, it allows you to solo it. whereas with Smooth Operator, you've got to come down here and click solo. So just a little longer process to get to solo on there. Okay, overviews out the way. Before we get into this, someone also asked in my last video, how does this perform on CPU? So let's take a look at that. Let's turn these on. Okay, so Smooth Operator here. We've got 2. Soothe at 2. So they're both pretty similar on CPU. I believe once I hit play, I think Soothe goes up to 3, but very similar. Do notice here that Soothe is using probably about twice the amount of latency here, 42.7 milliseconds latency on Soothe, and Smooth Operator 21.3. Not really a big deal because, of course, we have delay compensation in the DAW. So let's get into the example here. So like I said, we've got a vocal and a guitar here. I'm going to bypass both of these. The only processing I've done is I've rolled off some of the low end with this EQ, and it's going to Baby Audio spaced out for some reverb. Besides that, there's no other EQ, compression, anything like that. So we're just hearing Smooth Operator and Soothe 2 here. So these curves are not set perfectly, as you can see, but I've tried to, quickly match what both of these are going to do, which is handle some of the low mids and handle some of the highs where there's an S. So let's go ahead. I'm going to play this bypass, let you hear it for a little bit, and then we'll get to adding Soothe 2 and Smooth Operator on here.
When all of a sudden I am unaware of these afflictions eclipsed by glory, I realize how beautiful you are and how great your affections are for me. Oh, how he loves us all, how he loves us all. He is jealous for me, love me like a hurricane. I am a tree bending beneath the weight of his wind and mercy.
Okay, so we've got a muddy guitar there, and the vocals a little muddy too. So let's see what these two can do for this. We will start with Soothe 2. I'm just going to unbypass it and play it.
He is jealous for me, love me like a hurricane. I am a tree bending beneath the weight of his wind and mercy. When all of a sudden I am unaware of these afflictions eclipsed by glory, I realize how beautiful you are and how great your affections are for me. Oh, how he loves us all, how he loves us all.
All right, and this is Smooth Operator.
He is jealous for me, love me like a hurricane. I am a tree bending beneath the weight of his wind and mercy. When all of a sudden I am unaware of these afflictions eclipsed by glory, I realize how beautiful you are and how great your affections are for me. Oh, how he loves us all, how he loves us all.
Okay, now I'm going to play just the first phrase, and we'll try to get a really quick comparison. I'll play the first phrase, then we'll go to Soothe. I'll play the first phrase, bypass again, and then we'll go to Smooth Operator.
He is jealous for me, love me like a hurricane. I am a tree. He is jealous for me, love me like a hurricane. tree.
Bypassed again.
He is jealous for me. Love me like a hurricane. I am a tree bending beneath.
And smooth operator.
He is jealous for me. Love me like a hurricane. I am a tree.
Okay, so I want to point out, let me see if I can find this S that we'll take a listen to here. Let's bypass both.
When all of a sudden I am unaware of these.
Okay, right there, that S that's poking out. So now let's pay attention to how each of these handles S's. We'll start with Soothe 2. I'll play it one more time so you can hear that S.
When all of a sudden I am unaware of.
And Soothe 2.
When all of a sudden I am unaware of these.
And smooth operator.
When all of a sudden I am unaware of these.
Okay, so here's what I'm hearing. We'll start with the S's. So I feel that smooth operator is handling the S better and smoother. And I think smooth operator makes a killer de-esser. With soothe is still poking out a little too much for me. And again, these are not set the exact same. So, could I get them to match themselves with that S? Probably. It would just take some time. With the overall sound, though, I feel that Soothe 2 sounds a little more natural to me, where Smooth Operator it sounds more of an effect to me, and it's brighter than Soothe 2, at least for what I have this set to, because again, these are not set the exact same. However, I like bright, so I would lean more towards Smooth Operator in this comparison. Overall, which is better, that is going to totally be a preference thing for you and also for your needs, because comparing the two, Soothe 2 does more. It gives you more control over the sound. You got the mid side, which is pretty cool, especially if you're doing like mastering. Smooth Operator, though, I feel is easier to dial in and easier to use. I've gotten used to using Soothe 2, but when I first got it, I did look at all these controls, and really the only, I'd say, standard control you see on here is really attack and release, and I guess mix and output trim. But a lot of the controls on here, you've got to get into the manual and really learn what they do. Whereas Smooth Operator, it's a little easier to, well, it is easier to open it up and just get to working with it. They really made it very intuitive and easy to use. So if you need the extra features, you can certainly go with Soothe 2. I can see a case for both of these. What I know is going to be a deciding factor for a lot of people is the price. So a Smooth Operator right now has an intro price of $39. It's at regular price $69, whereas Soothe 2, the regular price for it is $219 US. I got mine on sale last Easter for $170, I think, something like that. So if you're gonna go for Soothe 2, I definitely recommend waiting for a sale, because OEK does have sales. So and as well as Baby Audio, you've got the intro offer right now for $39. But I know that's going to be a big deciding factor for some people between these two. But there's a comparison of Soothe 2 and Smooth Operator. I will have a link to both of these in the description if you want to check them out and learn more. Any questions, comments, let me know. What did you think between this comparison? I know a lot of people want to see this, so let me know what you think. All right, I'll catch y'all next time. I want to invite you to check out my podcast, the Faders Up Podcast, where we discuss pro audio and beyond. We discuss everything from recording to gear to the music business. So if you're an audio engineer, songwriter, recording artist, music producer, this podcast is for you. We recently started season 2, and we're going to have a lot of listener questions on this season, as well as some really cool guests that's lined up and giveaways as well. So if you've already subscribed and followed the podcast, thank you. If you haven't, it's available on all platforms, and I encourage you to check it out. Also, rate it and review it and let us know what you think.